Hello, hello, and happy Wednesday. I hope everybody is doing well and that you have enjoyed half a week. I am just trying to organize myself and share this on my own Facebook as well, which usually, here we go, it's here, yay! All right, give me a second here, maybe. Share, copy link. All right, here we go. Bear with me. Create a post, maybe. Paste and share. All right, we're done. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, so let's get started. Today, I want to talk about the number one most important relationship that you will ever have. So give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. Maybe. Here we go. All right. So for those of you who have been following my program, you are now familiar with the Oola or Oola la. But for those of you watching for the first time, welcome. And let me just give you a quick introduction to Oola. It started with two guys, the Oola guys, Dr. Troy and Dr. Dave, and their vision of changing the world with one word, Oola. They even wrote a best-selling book about it. Hang on, I got it right here. Oola, Finding Balance in an Unbalanced World. You can actually find a link to purchase this book on my webpage, which is via monaro.com. Oola comes from the French word ooh la la, and in short, it refers to a life of less stress, more balance, and greater purpose, a life of awesomeness. It's about setting goals and taking action steps towards finding balance in 7 key areas of your life. And in doing so, you will create your dream life, the life that you ultimately were designed for. So today, like I said, I would like to talk about what I believe is the number one relationship that you will ever have. The relationship that will shape all other relationships, that the relationship that will teach you how to love unconditionally, and the relationship that will push your life in the direction of your dreams. I am, of course, talking about your relationship with yourself. When we are very little, and yes, this is a photo of me, I am probably 3 or 4 years old, very happy at Christmas with my Christmas presents. But this is around the time where we actually learn how to feel about ourselves and how to feel about our lives by the reactions and through the actions of the adults around us. Whether it be a parent, a teacher, a neighbor, a priest, this is how we learn what to think about ourselves and about our world. There's a famous Jesuit saying, "Give me a child until he is 7, and I will give you the man." Almost all our programming, both negative and positive, were accepted by us by the time we were 3 years old. Our experiences since then are based upon what we accepted and believed about ourselves and about life at that time. So as we grow up, we have a tendency to recreate these very same emotional experiences from our early home life. Now, this is not good or bad, it's not right or wrong, and is definitely not to put blame on those adults that shaped us. You have to remember they themselves were mere products of their own upbringing. This is just to spark a new thought, a new realization as to where where our understanding of the world comes from, and ultimately where our understanding of ourselves come from. It is just what we know inside as home, as familiar, and something that we might have never even thought of taking a deeper look at or even question. Say, for example, you're a person who gets angry at yourself for being afraid or fearful, or you scold yourself for not getting a good enough grade, or you berate yourself for not being thin enough, or tall enough, or good enough, or this enough, or that enough. When you beat yourself up, think about it. Think about the things that you say to yourself. Listen to the words and the tones of the voices inside your head. Maybe they sound familiar. Like, did your mother only focus on the things you did wrong and not celebrate the things you did well? Or did your father tell you, boys don't cry? Or was there a teacher that told you that you would never amount to anything? Now, think back to what we were saying just minutes ago. Almost all programming was accepted by us by the time we were 3 years old. The way we were treated when we were very little is usually the way we treat ourselves now. So just pause here for a second and think, when you're scolding yourself, when you're berating yourself, who do you think you're treating that way? The person that you're scolding is actually that 3-year-old child inside of you. Now, if you imagine a 3-year-old in front of you who's afraid, what would you do? Would you be angry at her? Or would you reach your arms out and comfort the child until she feels safe and at ease? I mean, when I learned this, when I heard this, for me, it was like, it was a mind opener. It really, really was. And I want you to really think about it as well. And the next time that you get angry or frustrated at yourself, just remind yourself who you were when you learned these standards. Who were you when you learned, what to do and not to do and how to do it, and expectations? Like, who were you? You were just a little child. And then ask yourself, are these standards true for me today? With this new understanding, you now have the opportunity to treat yourself the way you wish to be treated. This is your chance now to identify your own values, to discover for yourself how you feel about yourself. A frightened child needs comforting. There's no arguing that. We don't need scolding. So whatever you decide to be kind to yourself. Begin to love and approve of yourself. That's what the little child inside of you needs in order to express herself at her highest potential. And that is what you need as well. And that is why having a healthy relationship with yourself is the number one most important relationship you will ever have. Loving and approving of yourself, creating space of safety within yourself, trusting and deserving and accepting will create some kind of organization in your brain, create more loving relationships in your life, attract a new job or a new and better place to live. Our health improves, we attract more money, our relationships become more fulfilling, and we begin to express ourselves in creatively fulfilling ways. Now, I just want to stop for a second. When I talk about loving ourselves, I'm not talking about the narcissistic, grandiose way. I'm talking about very, very simple little things like not criticizing yourself for anything. Let's start just there. Let's just start by not criticizing ourselves. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop being angry at yourself. Stop scolding and berating yourself, and say, just in this moment, on this day, I love and accept myself just the way I am. That's not to say that we cannot do better tomorrow, or that we stop growing or working on ourselves. No, it means that in this very moment, I am as good as I will ever get, with all my knowledge, all my experiences, my flaws, and my attributes. Just in this moment, I am as good as I will get, and I love and accept myself. I mean, think about it. I don't know about you, but for me, I have a gold medal in criticizing myself and scolding myself, and always trying to be better. And to be honest, it really didn't get me where I wanted to go. It just got me very upset, very, I don't know, I just want to say like exhausted. So I think if you want to join me, because I am just as much a student here as I am a teacher, let's try something new. Let's just try something new, because the other way just hasn't worked. So to become the best version of yourself, you need to continue to learn and grow. And in working with me as a certified Oola coach, this is where we'll start. Well, actually, no, that's not true. We will start by dreaming. We will start by adopting the imagination of that 3-year-old child inside of you. I mean, have you ever played with a 3-year-old? Nothing is impossible, and everything is explored with such curiosity, amazement, and joy. I think it's time for us to sit down and listen to that person, to that 3-year-old inside of us, and let their voices be heard, and let their dreams become our realities. And that is where we start. With you becoming curious about you, about what is your highest potential and your best version of yourself. My only goal when working with my clients is to help them find their way back to themselves, to become the greatest version of the grandest vision they have of themselves. We work together in restoring balance in 7 key areas in life, like your health and fitness, your finances, your career, and your relationships. And we rediscover your passion, the things that make you smile and laugh out loud. And we get you started on a journey that is going to change your life drastically for the better. And the beautiful thing about this is that this process is so simple, but it's not easy. And that's why I will be there. I will be there with you for the first 10 weeks as your accountability partner, as your cheerleader, as your daily reminder, as your coach. So give me a call, send me an email, find me on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll sit down and talk. Why, you say? Because you were created by God, the universe, Buddha, that infinite source. You were created for greatness and for a purpose. And we are not settling for the ordinary anymore, now that we know that there is extraordinary within you. So, when are you available to talk? So, for today, be grateful, have faith, and go and get your Oola life. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic Wednesday and rest of the week. And make sure that you tune back here next Wednesday, when I will join you for another relationship talk. All right, take care, and thank you.
We're back.
We are back.
Bill, you're going to be playing the outro, or are we going to do question and answer first?
Well, we are still live. You know that, right?
I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any questions, Oscar?
No,
Because I'm happy to answer.
I had an observation, and the you know, give me the child till age 7, and I'll give you the man. I knew that one of the things that you said that really sparked an interest is when you're criticizing yourself, whose voice is it that is criticizing you? I've never had that thought, and so, you know, becoming the observer and saying, whose voice is that? And I really got to tell them, listen, you know, it's time you get out. I have no use for that voice. So that is
absolutely.
And then one trick I heard from someone says, if that voice is criticizing you, give it a name of someone you don't like. So it's easy. It's like, yeah, George, you know, listen, just put it away. I don't need to hear it.
That's the same technique that I'm saying. And imagine that the person that you're talking to, when you're criticizing yourself, when you're berating yourself, imagine that that's a 3-year-old child. You know, visualize a 3-year-old child in front of you. Would you say those things to a 3-year-old child? You wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't even say them to your best friend or to your, you know, siblings or to your, you know, anyone really. But why? So why is it okay that you say it to yourself?
It's not, but we're not told that. That's, you know, that's where your expertise comes in, to hold up a mirror and say, do you realize that this is going on? And that's
absolutely.
Where people go, oh no, I didn't know.
Yeah, and the programming as well, like you said, from the Jesuits, like the programming is set by the time that we're 3. Our, you know, and it sounds weird because, you know, you don't have any awareness at the age of 3. No, exactly. And that's why it's so easy to program a child. And that's why give me a boy until he's 7 and I'll show you the man. That's why that, you know, saying is so, you know, true, because there is no awareness at that age.
So we're basically running a software that was put in our CPU when we were 7, and we never upgraded the software.
Absolutely.
You know, we upgrade our iPhones, we upgrade our laptops, but we don't. The one operating system that we really need to upgrade, no one tells us how to do it.
Absolutely, and it goes.
That's your job, Mona.
Well, yeah, exactly. That is my job, and that's, you know, is my job to make you aware of it. It's your job to
something.
I don't want to say change it because it sounds so hard. It's your job to, first of all, become aware of it. I always say to my clients that I work with that you being aware, that's half the job done. It's like, and this is might be a silly analogy, but it's like with an alcoholic, they're not going to stop drinking until they say, I'm an alcoholic. They have to realize that they have this disorder, I guess, this illness, this imbalance in their lives. And it's the same with this. We're not taught in school to love ourselves. That's not a subject on the list of subjects. We learn about wars that happened 100 years ago, but we don't learn how to love and approve of ourselves. And that should be a part of our curriculum, I think, because I think we would have a more healthy society that way. And it's not narcissistic. It's not bad to say that I love myself. I like myself. I think it's like that 3-year-old child. Like they have no shame running around in the beach naked. You know, they have no. Which was the photo of my son. You know, in the slide. You know, he was as happy as he could be because that's it. He was just being. He wasn't worrying about what other people thought of him. He wasn't worried about his big belly protruding out as he was running naked, you know, across the street. He wasn't worrying about all of this. He was just super excited to be on the beach and be playing in the sand. And that's where we need to go. I'm not going to say that, Oscar, you should go to the beach and start running around naked, but...
No, I've been told I can't do that anymore.
And he would be the only one doing that. That would be the thing.
But what
Of
I'm
course,
saying,
there'll be some police officers chasing him as well. Like, Mona told me to run free.
I know. Sign this agreement, please, Oscar.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
what I'm saying is really just start being aware of what it is that you're actually saying to yourself. Start being aware. That's what it is. And that's just, like I said, that's half the job done, by just being aware and just being
do you think people monitor that?
no.
No.
No, because this is you know, oh, so when you're out driving the car, and say you've driven the route to get home, like, thousands of times, and you leave work or wherever you are and you drive home, and all of a sudden you're home, but you don't even know how you got there. Right? Have you ever had that? Because I know I've had that. That's happened.
No, absolutely.
And that's what it is. These thoughts, they're there, but we don't even know. We don't know how they got there, and we don't even know. We don't even know that they're there. We're so unconscious to those thoughts because they're part of our makeup as a human being. So yeah, no, absolutely
physically
not.
there's a reason for that. Thinking takes a lot of energy, so our bodies put as much of our daily life in the subconscious, so we don't have to use that CPU to tie the shoelace. You don't have to say, all right, this goes over there, and that. No, it's done. It's automatic. So 90% of our day is run on autopilot.
Yes.
So when you say, okay, I want to change the way I do things, that sounds good, but the autopilot's going to take over unless you physically make an effort to change every day. That the book Atomic Habits talks about that, making a tiny little change. You can't eat that elephant in one bite. So and again, it's all has to do with awareness. And if they taught this in school, we would not be in the situation we are right now, where people just blindly follow everybody because that's what everybody else does. We're not taught to think for ourselves.
Yeah. I was following and studying Bob Proctor for a long time. I still do. But one of the things he said around this topic specifically is tomorrow morning when you get out of bed and you put your pants on, put the opposite leg in your pants first. Right? Like, do you even know which leg you put first in your pants? You don't, because you just do it.
Right.
So to start kind of switching and becoming aware of the habits that you're actually doing in your life. And this is just the doing. This isn't even about the thinking, but just realizing how much is on autopilot is okay. Tomorrow morning, when you get up and you put your pants on, put the opposite leg in first. Or even just for tomorrow, be aware of which leg am I putting in first.
We can do that right now with a simple experiment. Put your hands out like this. Phil, you too. Phil, now clasp your hands and open them up. Clasp your hands again. Open them up. Clasp them again. Has your one thumb always landed on the top, the same thumb?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Now do it the opposite way, so that thumb ends up on the bottom. Just see? It's like, that's the autopilot. You're going to do this all day long, and your subconscious says your right thumb is going to end up on the top, or your left thumb. But you try to now you have to, wow. How do I?
You have to slow it down. And that's the thing. You have to slow everything down. And I think that's, if 2020 taught us anything, it was to slow things down, and I'm going to challenge you to take it one step further. Slow it down. What am I saying to myself? Are these actually my thoughts, or are they the expectations of society? Is it things that I was told when growing up? Is this, my whatever adult, that was in my life growing up, what kind of an effect did they really have on me? And again, like, I'm not saying that this is good or bad or right or wrong, or that I'm putting blame on the adults that you were surrounded by, because they were just acting out of their own autopilot, right? And nobody taught them to question.
Mhm. No, but
I
here's
think
the thing. Here's the thing, though. I mean, we're talking about social. We're talking about first the personal mind and then the social mind, because we live based on what we knew. When we were using swords and wearing armor to fight, that was the best that we knew then, right? When we were running towards, when war broke out and these two sides were just running towards each other with cannons and guns, and we called it bravery, and you look back at that, you go, no, that's just being stupid. Right? Like, I ain't doing
I
that.
learned duck and cover right there.
Exactly, right? So it's like, each generation develops a new mindset, and it only really takes one person to sit down, separate themselves from the pack and go, I'm not doing that, right? I don't think that works. Let's try it this way. And when that person actually comes up with a new way of doing things, socially we all say, well, that does look better. That does
Yeah, well,
make
we go through stages though, because at first we'll ridicule that person,
Oh, absolutely.
then we'll shame that person,
Hmm.
and then I would say, 9 out of 10 times we will take the idea and make it our own, and kick the other person out, because we want to be the person that thought of it first. But
Right.
it's like we were talking about before we went live. Life is about competition, and I don't mean competition the way we think of it now, that I have to crush you so that I can be the best. That's not even the original meaning of competition.
Right.
The
Right.
original meaning of competition is, I see that Phil or Oscar are better at me with certain things, and if I want to be better than them, I have to work on myself and
Right.
make myself better myself. And once I'm better than you guys, you'll go, oh, look at her, she's better, that means I have to better myself. And together we actually build each other up.
That's
Competition
it.
is not about pushing each other down, it's about building each other up. And that's, as a coach, that's my only goal, is to build you up so that you live the life that you want, that you dream of, that you desire.
I mean, if there was only a program that would have they're saying it like, if you win, we win, that would be a great
That
thing
would
to do.
actually be a great program. I think that would
Yeah,
be
I
that would
think you
be
should
good.
awesome.
start one,
Yeah.
Phil.
Yeah,
Phil, why don't you start a program?
Just
yeah,
stay
exactly.
tuned, stay with us for another 10 minutes, and we will.
We will definitely say that, because that's what our team and that's what our group really believes is, when we encourage each other and support each other in winning, because each of us have different information. There's so many times that when we even have our group talks and our meetings that, Mona would come up with something, and it would be like, wow, did not think of that, right? Or Oscar would say something, because he's like, Oscar is like this box, right? And you look at him and you go, okay, this is what he knows. And then he says something and you go, wow, I
Where do you get
didn't
that
expect
from?
that. Where did that information come from? Right. And that was just uh that's just amazing about how we function. So go to phoenixnationalbusinessgroup.com and check us out. On our way out, we're going to just show you some of the things that are coming up. And then we will see you in a few minutes on Focus on You with Phil and Oscar. So we'll definitely see you guys then. Take care and watch this.